Hello, friends. This is
Three Friends Talk.
I'm Dr. Courtney,
I'm Dr. Leah.
This is Dr. Sylvia.
and we are
Three Friends Talk.
Hey, friends.
Hey, friends. Oh, my.
No, this is our
Why you looking like
song.
that, Dr. Leah?
I don't know what dance to do. Hold on.
Oh, that's ours. No, he's just joking.
Happy International Women's Day!
Happy
International Women's Day! So
Is that women empowerment to play that song?
it is. It is very much so. Empower the puss. No, I'm just kidding. So,
Oh, we starting early, huh?
okay, so I am Dr. Courtney.
I'm Dr. Sylvia. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Leave a comment, say hi in the comments. Let us know we're here. You're here.
I'm speechless. I am speechless. Dr. Leah.
That's her name tonight. Speechless.
Yeah, no. I'm Dr. Leah, and thank you for joining us for another episode of
Three Friends Talk.
So if you are out there watching us on Facebook land or YouTube land, say hey. Tell us you're out there. Leave us a comment. Tell us where you are viewing us from, and so happy to see you.
Let's have a great time tonight.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason why I played that song. No, not for International Women's Day, but we have another
Well, thank
reason
you for
sure.
clarifying that.
Trust me, it was not random, but there is a reason.
Wonderful.
Since it's Wednesday night, this is another fabulous episode of Three Friends Talk, and we got a lot to share with you all tonight. So,
Yeah.
are y'all ready to get into it?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right. So, as we just mentioned, it's Women's History Month. And today, well, March is Women's History Month, but today is International Women's Day. And I must say, I've seen a lot more on social media today honoring women all over, just entrepreneurs, professional women in the community. I've seen a lot on social media today. So just shout out just for that this day being recognized. I think even more so. What about you guys? Have you noticed that it was kind of heightened today?
It was.
Yeah.
Was it the same for you, or
Well, I've
been
been
more?
busy, so
I saw a
Yeah.
lot today. I actually posted to my stories. I don't post a lot, so
Shout out to our friend Dr. Audrey. She did a beautiful post and included us with some fantastic
did.
women. We
Mhm.
really love her and all that she is doing. So shout out to Dr. Audrey.
yeah,
One of
we
our super
always
fans, for sure.
yeah, we love connecting with her and working with her locally in the community, XU wide. So yeah, she's been there for us. Really, season what 2?
We had her on
Yeah.
season 2. Y'all have to check
Dang.
out that episode. But she's doing great thing. Dr. Audrey Tinsel on IG.
Townsville.
Townsville, I'm sorry, on IG. If you're not following her, please do. She's a mental health expert. And
check her episode out if you have not. And if you are tuning in, make sure that you're following us on all of our social media platforms. Leave us a 5-star review.
All right. Also, March is recognized for a
Busy.
lot of different things.
It's busy.
Look, I don't know about you guys, but it's March already. I feel like January was slow, but February went by kind of fast. It's March already. This is also Autoimmune Awareness Month, and it kind of hits home for me. I wanted to bring it up today because there is a situation, and I think it's a good time to share with you guys how I had a dear friend of mine become recently diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And let's talk about autoimmune diseases for just a second. This is when the body is attacking itself. Your body is attacking healthy tissue, so it does not recognize that what's in your body, the normal activity, is it's what's supposed to be there. It thinks it's foreign, so your body is attacking itself. But there are different types of autoimmune diseases. Multiple sclerosis is one of them, where the body is attacking the nervous system, so that it's eating away at the tissue around your nerves. There's alopecia, that's considered an autoimmune disease. Type 1 diabetes is considered an autoimmune disease. Um, Rheumatoid arthritis. So there are so many of them that can be grouped that way. There are different treatments for it, but I wanted to bring up this particular situation because it can be hereditary, it might not. There might be no one that you know of in your family with this type of autoimmune disease if you become diagnosed. But the situation was, I have we're a group of women in our 40s, African American women. So a dear friend of mine, 45, African American woman, healthy, good diet, not perfect, but good diet, working out with a trainer at least 3 times a week, if not more. Wakes up one day with blurred vision in her left eye, all of a sudden, right? So this is also about knowing your body and not taking things for granted. You have to pay attention to things that are abnormal and be proactive and go seek medical attention. So blurred vision in the left eye. And this wasn't just, oh, let me wipe my eye and, and clear up later. No, it stayed blurry, like she could not see out of her left eye. So she went to the eye doctor. Eye doctor says, oh, could be dry eye. Here's some lubricating eye drops. Go with that and see how that goes. Kind of just left her with a vague, very vague diagnosis. No labs, no tests run, anything like that. She got a second opinion, which I commend her for that. So she did that, and it was the doctor that she said that took an interest, a more or engaging approach with her to say, I can't find anything that's wrong, but something ain't right. So I really appreciate the doctor taking the next steps to say, let's get a CAT scan. Let's scan what's going on with the whole head and then even with the neck. So it was a matter of not taking it very lightly, a very serious situation. And come to find out, it was the optic nerve of the eye that had been affected, and it inflamed, if you will, and her body was attacking that optic nerve, and that was one of the signs of multiple sclerosis. So she had to be put on at least 5 days of, immediate 5 days of IV treatment, and her vision is already back about 75%. So I really am happy that it was caught. Different symptoms can be treated with different medications, depending on how your body is affected by the autoimmune disease. So I just wanted to say that, again, be aware of what's happening with your body. Don't just be satisfied with one opinion. If it's follow your gut, get a second, get a third opinion, and make someone listen to you, make them run the test and show you what's going on, and seek the proper treatment. So she is doing well. I know she's going to thrive through this, and she's going to document her story. So when she's ready and comfortable, I'd love for her to be on the show to talk about her story. But this is the time this month to really do your research and talk to your doctors about any autoimmune diseases. So
I also want to take a minute to shout out one of my besties who's been living with MS for several years, and thriving. And, MS can show up a lot more aggressive in Black men and women. I also have a childhood friend that had multiple sclerosis, and he died this past year. So, like Dr. Courtney said, just continue to advocate for yourselves. When you're off, why am I having blurred vision? But that could have been just written off, and this could have gone longer.
She could have accepted that first treatment. Oh, I have dry eye. Yeah, but it's not getting better.
And real damage is happening inside your body. So, and there are a ton of other.
Can you share if your best friend, like, what were those first symptoms? Because MS can show up in different ways. Did they share with you what were those first symptoms that they had?
Yeah, it's been a while now, so we'll have to have her on so she can tell her story. But I know balance has been an issue.
Right.
Just kind of feeling extreme fatigue, and she just had some skin conditions too. But that may not have been the MS. But I think the fatigue was the biggest thing, and then she would sometimes have pain in her arm and stuff. So it can show up a myriad of ways, and it has to be managed. So we don't have a cure yet, but it's something that we're definitely working toward, and research is being done.
I think now that you say about the pain, she was experiencing some leg pain, and maybe she thought she was writing it off because she had been working out so much. But I think it was some of those first symptoms and signs of MS. So again, it can show up so many different ways.
And it can be managed. It's a disease that can attack you, and then you go into remission, and then it might attack you again, and then it may be years before you have, another flare up. And I actually had an old coworker reach out to me recently because his niece was just diagnosed, and I work for a specialty pharmacy, so we are one of the big, of course, we have a lot of those drugs for MS maintenance. So he was there were only maybe like 4 drugs. So he was like, so, is the big drug, still Avonex or whatever. And I'm like, man, there's so many drugs now. There's oral
a new one. I just saw one on
oral therapy. There's several oral therapies now. Yeah. So I started naming off all the drugs. He was like, what? He was like, oh my goodness, I gotta do some research. So you're able to have a balance in, maintain a lifestyle without always having to, undergo infusions. It just depends. So definitely you have to, you definitely, if you catch it at a certain time, or it depends on what stage you're in. So,
or how aggressive it is.
Right. So
all of that.
But yeah, we keep all of those patients in prayer. And I have a couple of coworkers that, actually have MS, and they work, in the field of specialty. So they, they're big advocates.
Well, it doesn't have to be something that puts your life on pause. Like, we got to get ahead of it and stay on top of treatment and continue to have quality of life, so.
Correct.
But yeah, we can definitely come back. I want to talk to her some more and bring you guys back some success stories. So yeah, we'll talk more about it during this month. So
Dr. Courtney, did you have your sleep study?
Yes, I did. Okay,
we touched on that a while back,
the next topic, but I had my sleep study and I don't have sleep apnea. Yay. So it was
good.
Yes, that was one thing. I was really for the snoring because I snore like a bear.
No,
who knew?
It's not snoring. It's I don't know what to call it. Like I said, I feel like the woman is.
Let's say be nice.
Somebody put a hug emoji.
Yeah, because I want to hug her too, because I thought I was losing her that night. I was like, girl.
I tell you I sleep so good.
Did you go to the other side a couple times? Because she'll breathe and then she'll stop. And then she'll snore and then she'll breathe.
It's not sleep apnea.
They said it's not sleep apnea. So.
No, okay.
They did just say they said I have. They diagnosed me with snoring, and that's it. I'm great. Great sleep.
Good.
But yeah, but you asked that to say I never did give y'all the results, and it's been a while now. But
next week is Sleep Awareness Week, so I thought we should address it, and we might have a little video. I
did not videotape myself, so don't even get the people.
Not you, crazy. Not you. Oh my gosh. But
okay. Oh, and also this month we had like National Dentist Day. Did y'all see that too? It's so many. Every day is something else. But I want to say I got my Invisalign in. Can y'all see it?
No.
It's working already.
It's invisible.
Good job.
Shout out Dr. Jared, our other super friend who's got my Invisalign going. And I have to wear it just for a couple of months.
I don't, but I went out of town. I was in St. Louis this weekend and I bought some popcorn and I had a little.
You had it in?
a dental dot, like a little metal piece where I have to put a rubber band in my mouth. I don't always wear it. So anyway,
With the
when I
Invisalign, you have to wear it
mm-hmm,
on those little nodules, huh?
is it well the nodules are what clicks it in, but it was like a little metal
Yeah,
thing.
I could take them out. Y'all want to see?
No,
Oh,
it was a little metal thing that you put a rubber band on to help pull the tooth. Long story short, after I finished the popcorn and went to put my Invisalign in, the metal thing was gone. So
that's
I've
about
literally
$1,000 replacement.
oh no,
Is
it's
it?
not. No, no, it's not. But
I want one. I want to be in the Invisalign game.
no, you don't.
Girl,
I'm so
these teeth
tired
about
of
to
these
be.
things. I've in June it'll be 2 years for me. So that's why I'm like, oh
Oh, I
gosh,
don't have
I'm
to
at
wear
the
mine
finish
that long.
line. Let me
Oh.
go get this thing back on so I don't have to continue with it. But
Dr.
I'm happy
Jared
with
said I
the
don't
way
need that
it's
much
done.
correction.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Is it so? Is it like a like a retainer where you are
Yeah,
supposed
you
to
want me to
keep
show you?
wearing it? No, not really. But
Yeah,
yeah.
you get a
Yeah,
permanent
I
like
feel like
one
I have to
after
take
it's
like
done.
take my teeth out to like eat or to brush my teeth. I feel like, oh, let me take my teeth out. But it's just like the little tray that sits on your teeth. Okay,
Mhm.
never mind.
She
Mm.
thinks she wants to play like they're dentures. Gotcha.
Right. That's why I'm
Exactly.
like I gotta take my teeth out.
I
Like,
take
no,
my
you
teeth out
don't.
That's
now.
something you aspire to have dentures.
No,
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
All right. All
but I'm
right.
extra, so I'm like extra attention. I'm like, let me take my teeth out and put them back in. But it's great so far. It took some while, some getting used to, but it's great. I used to chew on like this all the time.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like we said, March is a busy month. And guess what, guys? I have a lot going on. So yeah, we are winding down to graduation. So we went to another
Party
school
time.
yesterday, and Jalen actually met with like coaches. Like, so this is the first time we've done a tour and where he's tried out for bowling. So that was pretty cool. So
Oh.
Good.
yeah, so we did that, and we have a couple more schools to visit, and
Bowling scholarships.
hopefully we'll have an announcement soon. So
I can't
I'm
wait.
excited for you, Mom. You're gonna be an empty nester. Please don't go to college with Jalen. He don't want you right
why
there.
not?
No, don't
Okay.
do that to that
I think
boy.
we have a guest.
He understand. Like literally, he be like,
Yeah.
I know she coming.
Yes, your child knows.
He knows. But
Leah, we're
yes,
gonna keep you
Fly,
occupied.
Jalen, fly.
You have
thank
a lot to
you.
do.
I'm gonna let him fly. I'm gonna let him fly. But yeah, we do. We have a wonderful guest tonight, and
We're so excited.
yeah, we are excited because it's something near and dear to my heart. I guess Dr. Courtney's too, but near and dear to my heart. Yeah, we have these babies.
Fur babies.
Hers is an old fur baby.
You're right. He is a very old man. My poor
That
baby
man.
can't see or hear right now.
So we told y'all we were in Atlanta a couple weeks ago to receive our award.
Talk about my fur baby.
And we stayed. I gotta talk about it. So we got to I got to the house late. So he good in the bed sleep.
They talking about my baby Jazz.
So I'm like, Jazz, hey, I'm here, and he like,
Jazz is like, please, lady, please. It's too much noise.
How old is that?
Jazz
17?
did not even bark at you. He was just like,
I really startled him. I think because remember
Jazz has got to be like 16.
In
he
human
old.
years. In human
So
years.
Yes.
we went upstairs and we came back down, and Jazz had come out and
He peeked.
He puked on the floor, and I was like, "Oh my god, did I scare him that bad?"
He peeked and he got a little anxious.
I said, "Let me
Leah
go."
upset him. Stop
Poor
laughing,
baby.
Leah.
Poor baby. That's trauma.
It was my fault. It was really my fault. I'm gonna do better. But like I said, our guest tonight is a lover of fur babies, like we are, and so much more. So let's get into this bio for our guest tonight. He is an animal scientist and veterinarian with concentrations in public health, foreign animal diseases, zoonotic diseases, small animal medicine, shelter medicine, holistic as well as traditional treatments, and exotic animal species and diseases. And I actually saw something on Instagram the other day, so we're going to talk about these exotic animals. He serves on multiple boards as a consultant as well as a mentor for aspiring veterinarians, as well as those wanting to enter the field of veterinarian medicine. He's a published author. He has a book called The Pet Bible and some others on the way. And you know what else? He's a musician. Right. He performs, teaches, records, and produces music for artists worldwide. And right, like I said, like so much wrapped into this guest tonight. So let's get into it. Let us welcome our guest, Dr. Greg Shaw.
Yay! Welcome. Hey, Dr. Greg.
Good afternoon. Happy International Women's Day to
Thank you.
amazing women on the panel.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. I was listening about you scaring that poor old man puppy the other day, and I feel kind of bad for him.
Poor old man puppy. That's okay.
So, as we stated, he is an old man. My baby is he's 2.5. He's almost 3 years old. So when I come home, I'm like, "What's a man?" You know, I'm just all into. Okay,
Jazz don't play that.
See, look,
Jazz
see.
Jazz,
right
go
here.
sit down somewhere.
So if I get excited, he gets excited, and Jazz was like, "Lady, get out of here."
He said, "This is bedtime round here." Okay.
Use your inside voice inside.
Right. And that's literally how he looked at me. So yeah. Okay. Hey, Tuskegee. Girl, Tanisha know everybody.
It's a family
I
thing.
do know
everything.
having like the vet school. So
yeah, clearly, you know, we've given a little information about our guests so far. As I was talking to the young ladies tonight, I was letting you guys know that I did a little internet stalking because, you know, I was looking for a vet.
Do you have your fur baby right there with you, Leah?
He's right here. Yes,
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm looking down and yeah. Okay.
Okay.
He's part of the show tonight too.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. So I was looking for a vet. I was looking for a black vet. So I was doing a little internet stalking and I came across Dr. Greg's page. He's from Memphis, but he's not in Memphis anymore. So, you know, like I said, I was like, you know, kind of stalking. And I saw a mutual friend that we grew up together with. And I was like, hey, you know Dr. Greg? He's like, yeah, he cool people. Here's his info. Reach out to him. I'm like, okay, great. Thank you. So, you know, shout out Mitch. Actually, today is Mitch's birthday. Happy birthday, Mitch.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. So thank you for introducing me to Dr. Greg. And T'Challa is not a patient, but you know, we'll be glad if you ever move back to Memphis.
Oh, can I be his godfather? Kind of how Sandra did. I'll be his god.
They have
father.
that for dogs.
For dog
sure.
godfather, I guess we should. I mean, we'll do this or something, make it official.
Oh, we're gonna have a whole ceremony.
You will not have a christening.
Yes. He needs to be received.
Don't make us come and dress up. Like, don't put no.
You know I will. He needs to be received.
Well, Dr. Greg, I tell you, before we get started, I usually like to play a game with our super friends that join us on the show. So, would you be up for a game of this or that with Three Friends Talk?
Sure.
Awesome. So, no pressure, but we do have a timekeeper, which is Dr. Leah. So we're going to put 30 seconds on the clock. And the more questions we can answer, the more answers you give, and the better our listeners will get to know you. Okay?
All right, cool.
I'm going to give you a couple of choices. You blurt out the first answer, okay, that you think works for you. You ready, Dr. Leah? All right. And go. iPhone or Droid?
Droid.
Suits or sweats?
Sweats.
Okay. Music or medicine?
Let's go medicine. Let's do medicine. Yeah,
I gotta pause.
Okay. No. Pause. Keep it going. Nope. Okay. We're gonna come back to that. We're gonna circle back.
Okay.
Hit it back. Okay. Calls or text messages?
Text message.
Okay. Vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
Okay, vacation.
Vay. Put the vay on there. The vay. Yeah.
Oh, you said vacation.
Y'all lost.
The vacation. The V.
Okay, I was like, how is that?
Sorry.
Okay, here's another one. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Okay. Late nights or early mornings?
Late nights.
Rich friend or loyal friend?
Loyal.
Or love or money?
Love.
Why that took too long, Dr. Craig? Okay, coffee, wine, or Hennessy? What's in your cup tonight?
Coffee.
You trying to stay up all night?
Well, I gotta be ready. I can't be. No, I got to be on it. I can't be dipping and tripping. I got to be here.
Tripping.
All right, Dr. Craig, we totally went past the buzzer, but for good reason. That was a shocker right there.
A little bit, a whole lot. Yeah.
That was good. That was good. Now, what's that one, Leah, you said you had to pause on?
I had to pause on
The medicine
or music.
I think there's some passion over there for that music.
Yeah.
You had trouble with that one.
It depends on time of the day.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I get it. So, all right, let's dive right into it. That was good.
Yeah, it
Got
was
to know you a
good.
little bit better.
So, who is loyal?
Huh?
Huh?
It sounded like he said Lowell when he said loyal.
Sylvia. Y'all said what?
Woo! I'm so funny. Okay. Dr. Greg.
Right.
We're
Like you
excited.
went over my head, girl.
We're excited. This is the first time we've ever had a vet on the show, and I don't know any black vets. So shout out to you.
See?
I don't know what the statistics are, but if you know how many black vets there are, shout out to Tuskegee, where my cousin went, Tanisha. But what was your journey to become a vet? And back in the day when we were getting ready for college, they said vet school is harder to get into, more hard to get into than med school. So is that the case, or is that a myth, or did it used to be the case?
Well, because there's a minimum amount of vet schools, not a lot of them. And then just to get in, of course, makes the pool a little bit hard to get in because not that many vet schools.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you're in, making it out because you have multiple species to learn about versus just one. So you got multiple species to kind of know about it, and they can't talk. So you got to know the normals on multiple species so that you're able to.
I'm already.
You got to know the normal so good that when the abnormal comes up, that's how they talk to you. You got to know everything from a dog, cat, horse, chicken, everybody. So common that when it's off, you know it. So that would make it, it would make it a little perplexing sometimes to go through, just to kind of keep all that information jumbled in, because you can't give every pet, every animal the same dosages or the same diagnosis. What you give one, you can't get other, and what goes here and what goes there. So everyone has their own special way of you treating them to make them, make them get well. Or
thought about it like that. They
I didn't either. Right. And then it's like,
what am I doing?
Okay, yeah, with medicine, we're all warm, but what is it? Warm body, warm blood. Don't look at me like that, Dr. C.
Well, we're not cold-blooded.
Yeah, we're not reptiles.
But animals, you got cold-blooded, warm-blooded. So you got all these.
Yeah, you got warm-blooded and cold-blooded, and then everybody metabolizes medicine differently.
Yeah.
For example, what you may give one may not be metabolized the same way in another.
That's
you can't give an elephant the same thing that you give a duck.
Right. And you say, "Oh,
we was growing up, and that thing got so huge. I didn't know how our vet was able." In New Orleans, we had a whole iguana growing up, and so we got to get into these exotic pets. But I'm just saying, we didn't.
In the house?
We always had a dog. We tried the cat one time, and the cat had to go.
Dog.
The cat was evil, so we always had dogs. But then we had an iguana, and so. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Whose idea was the iguana?
Well, my little brother wanted it, so of course my mom and dad gave in. And when it got big, and this goes to tell you we were some '90s babies. He named it Alizé. So Alizé.
Lord.
We can't give us nothing. We can't have nothing.
So Alizé had to live in this big old cage outside. And one day it was too cold because it never gets cold in New Orleans, right? When it got cold, we used to have this heat rock out. We had to put a heat rock out there for her, but she was like stuck on the cage because she was cold-blooded, and I couldn't figure out like what is wrong with her. We can't get her out. Like she was like
her heart rate had gone down.
She could not move. She was stiff as a doorknob, but her eyes was just looking around.
But they come back, don't they?
Yeah, we had to warm her up.
Yeah.
Oh. On her?
I don't remember what happened. I went in the house. Like, Dad, right, y'all handle that.
What is a what'd you say? A rock? What kind of
heat rock?
Heat rock.
It's like an
keeps the
artificial rock. It's like a little
keeps
heating
the aquarium
pad.
warm. I
Ah.
guess.
It's shaped
Yeah,
like a
when
rock.
you're dealing with a lot of reptiles or cold-blooded or something like that, you're responsible for the temperature to keep them where they need to be.
Yeah, we didn't
Mm.
know that.
hmm
Well, I'm
So that
not an
heat
animal
rock,
person, if you couldn't tell.
yeah, that heat rock is there for them to have a warm place to be and keep that
Mhm.
temperature up. And
Mm.
sometimes you have the little lights shining in for like a turtle or something, just
Yeah.
everything to keep that temperature at a
We
certain
sure needed you
level.
back then, Dr. Greg. Alizé didn't last too long.
Lord have mercy.
After
Okay,
that.
so we know that you went to Tuskegee.
Yeah,
So
how'd you
was
get to where you are?
Tuskegee like, was it okay? I'm going to Tuskegee because I want to be a vet, or did you go to Tuskegee for something else? Like, did you always want to be a vet?
Yeah, and I was 5 years old. I 5 years old. I want to be a vet. So when I was like in
Oh,
elementary school and junior high, I used to volunteer around Memphis, and like I used to go to Litchman Nature Center and volunteer.
Oh,
My mom said, "Well, if you want to do it, then start being a part of it and see what you want to do." So I started volunteering at this little wildlife rehab center at Litchman in Memphis, and then this animal clinic in Midtown Memphis, Central Animal Hospital. Let
mhm.
me just, I would clean dog cages out in the summer and then come up and just watch what they were doing. And I did that from like 10 years old on up. So about that time, it was just something I wanted to do. And I thought they really could talk when no one was around. So I figured I could talk for them,
Dr.
the
Doolittle.
Muppet
Dr.
Babies.
Doolittle.
it was
Okay.
And
Dr.
yeah, I was like, well, I'm going to talk for them. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, so that was,
That's so cute. What happened at 5 years old that was like, I want to be an animal doctor? Was there something in particular?
well, I like animals. We grew up with animals. My parents had a little animal. And then I had a little, I used to stutter a little bit growing up. He make
Mhm.
you self-conscious, but the animals didn't care. The little kids would talk about me, but the animals didn't care.
They wasn't talking back.
Right. So when I got better, I started saying, I'm gonna take care of them, I'm gonna speak for them. Whatever. And
Oh,
then that kind of took it
I
from
love
there
it.
and kind of just
that's
wrote
so
it. So,
sweet. Right.
so I
I
went
love
to
it.
Tuskegee as that, So my undergrad's animal science, then vet school. But yeah, that's where I wanted to be from the beginning. And I was able to do that and then do some stuff out to vet school and then come back home and kind of give back to community.
I got a
That
quick
way.
I got a quick question.
Uh-huh.
Do you know Dr. Tommy Thompson?
That I know the name,
Okay.
but not person. I do know the name. Uh-huh.
Okay, so he's big time. Another black vet. He's older gentleman, but
Mhm.
he wrote one of my letters for to be admitted into pharmacy school. Another friend of the family, whatever. But yeah, that man right there. He was the guy because back in the day, I guess a vet. It was a vet, So it was like, but he was that guy that was like, hey, you address me as Dr. Tommy. I'm Dr. Thompson. And that's how I always knew him. Was like, okay, well, I know a vet is a doctor now at this point because he was straight on it. So
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we've talked about, your passion for being a veterinarian, but you wear so many hats. So how did you evolve? You want to ask? Go ahead.
Yeah, so 4 years of undergrad, or is it
Mhm.
like, do you have to have a degree to get into vet
You
school?
don't. You can do you can do a 3-year program and get in, and then within your first year do a veterinary science. But my undergrad was in animal and poultry science, so I did the 4 years, graduated, and then vet school after that. So
How long is vet school?
8 years. I mean 4 years. I'm sorry, 4 years of vet school. Yeah, 4 years. If you don't go and specialize, because they have specialists just like in human medicine, animal dermatologists, animal cancer oncologists. So they're specialists in veterinary medicine as well. Versus the 4 years, you can go and extend it and be just that specialized care in that particular category, whether it's in surgery or anything of the such. So.
Now, is it true that at Tuskegee's vet school they had like the pasture where they had some cows and you would go study the cows too and all that stuff?
When I was a freshman, I was given a cow to take care of when I was a freshman in undergrad. I got a picture somewhere. Yeah, you go out down, and it's crazy because you couldn't get to it in regular roads. You either had to walk or ride in the back of a horse trailer and go out there to take care of your cow.
What year was this, sir? This is in the 90s.
96. I graduated in 96, so it had to be 97. We're out there just really roughing it, like we in the
in Alabama.
in Alabama, hot Alabama, taking care of cows, and it was
in Alabama.
Yes.
Wait. So you say you got to take care of it. So
we got to feed it, take care of it, get used to dealing with it and
every
stuff.
day?
So you find a cow. Yeah, you're out there pretty much. You
Well,
out there pretty
how
much.
they gonna eat, Leah? You can't just choose once a
It's
week
not
to go
about
feed them.
eating. Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
wait. No.
I asked so many questions about
Wait,
that.
okay. We finna get thrown all off on this one cow. So you gotta go.
Right.
You gotta go. Okay, when the cow wakes up, you need to be out
No,
there.
when the cow's out in the field, so it's eating grass.
Okay.
You just got there checking on it. Yeah, it's loose
You gotta
in
check
a pasture.
you gotta
Cows
check his
eat
heart
grass
rate.
and
all
cowlick.
that
I
good
know they
stuff.
need cowlick.
Yeah, so they're out there. So you get assigned a cow to
know
go and
that.
take care
They
of.
need
know that,
what,
Sylvia.
Sylvia?
Am I right, Dr.
They
Gray?
need what?
You are, yeah. The cow they lick the salt. They need the salt, so they have a salt block. You'll see the salt block out there on a farm for them to lick. Yeah,
Oh, she's from Texas.
he's
Oh, no.
We have cows
Sylvia
on
is
our
a city
family
girl.
land.
Stop it.
I ain't know nothing about it till this summer. But
Right.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
I'm gonna come back to Tuskegee Vet School because I want to hear about I got some other questions. But you said you had a passion for music. We know you are a musician. You teach music. You actually have so many different hats besides just being a veterinarian. So how did you evolve into the musician, into the author, how did these other things come about?
Well, the music. My mom's piano teacher. She's been teaching in Memphis forever. Like I said, she taught Mitch and I. She taught all of us growing up. Well, it's four of us. So she teaches music around Memphis. So we all had to learn how to play something
Okay.
in the house. Well, every on the weekends or whatever, music just became a part of the tapestry of growing up. And so being in Memphis, everyone played something. So we were in high school gigging here and there, playing at church, playing this and that. And I just drug it on. So when I went to Tuskegee, I did football for a couple years. But while I was in football, I also did the band and I did marching band. So I just drug it on with me. Not drug it on, but she just was with me the whole way. And down in Alabama on the weekends, I would still gig. And just keep gigging to keep pushing it. And it kept the balance.
Yeah.
Because I needed that balance. Because this school over here make you have to have a getaway. Music always been the getaway. She's been a very loyal companion through the years. So I can't forget about it.
Sylvia about to say something about loyal.
Yeah, been loyal. That's fine. Yeah. That's Sylvia. Yeah.
That's his mistress. He keeps calling her music she. I see.
Yeah, so it just in Memphis and picking up instruments along the way, learning new instruments and doing it, playing at the church on Sunday and just gigging. It keeps the getaway. Something just nothing has to do with medicine. I can just step away from it.
Yeah.
And get into.
What's your favorite instrument?
I was gonna say that's like singing for Sylvia. Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly. There you go. Sylvia. See? There we go.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah. So that's just the getaway. It keeps the mind balanced and stuff. Music is just you cut off that side of the brain and just kind of get away. And I just blessed that it's with me. Now sometimes I know in vet school it was hard because I'll be on a call and then I'll be book the gig and then I try to balance it so it does make it. But it's been a good. Because sometimes you don't call it.
You had to choose to go take care of the animal.
Yeah, and sometimes you got to watch this cow have a baby, and you scheduled a gig somewhere in Atlanta somewhere, but you got to. It's a road that you try to balance.
The baby. Okay, I gotta go.
Right, you gotta be like, well, I'm on call. I gotta go. So it's it kept it. Yeah, gotta make sure things are there.
That's interesting.
I know, right?
What's your favorite instrument?
The saxophone. So I play the saxophone, the piano. I got a didgeridoo a few years ago.
Who?
A didgeridoo, that long thing. I got one of those.
No, that didn't help. What is it?
It's from I think it's originally from a didgeridoo. D-I-D-G didgeridoo. D-I-D-G.
Because you keep saying it.
Oh yeah,
D-O-O. Yeah.
It's like when the kids take a piece of paper and go.
No, it's not.
Yeah, but it's a long wooden from like Australia and New Zealand. It's like a long.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's not of this country. Oh, okay.
No.
All
So
right.
it's like percussion.
So it's
like
a wind instrument.
That's what I just said.
It's a wind instrument. Okay.
Y'all know what it is.
It's
it gives that.
So when they up on the mountains like the Aborigines?
Yes, exactly. The Aborigines, yes.
Girl,
That's
look
it.
it up.
Can say that. Something
Look
that
it
the
up.
Aborigines got.
He said
Yeah.
Australia.
Well, that's they don't just okay.
Yeah, so that and then a few other instruments, but the didgeridoo is my fun one now that I've got going on.
Wait a
But
minute.
it
What
only
do
make
Is
one
it
sound. So you
alto
play
sax?
actual
What kind
songs
of
with
sax?
it?
Alto and soprano. I got a pack of harmonicas I play, and then I got a canjo from a guy at a flea market in the parking
Hold
lot.
on.
It's a banjo.
Leah, look it up.
I asked if you played the banjo earlier.
How you
I thought
spell
No,
you
it's
said
a canjo. I couldn't afford a banjo, so I got a canjo, which is a banjo made out of a can with a string in the middle.
Sir, you
Back
lie.
then, I couldn't afford a banjo.
Don't
That-
worry about it.
That is a lie.
I
No,
got a-
look
I got
it
a gift you can have.
Wait.
This man play real and
Wait a
Make
minute.
believe.
Oh my goodness.
it's
up.
a
See,
real
the banjo, it's a thing. It's got one string and fret, and it's got a can where the
They
banjo
got a
part goes.
whole
And how do you play
American.
notes on
They
that?
got a
then?
whole American canjo
You
company.
play it like a violin to get different
No,
notes.
you play
No, it's like a guitar, but it's only got one string.
one
The
string.
bing,
So how do you
bing,
play
How
it?
do you
bing,
make
bing,
different
bing.
notes?
But like you hold it like a guitar, and you just hold the fret and play it back and forth. But
So
it's just
depending on where you hold it, it's gonna have a
uh-huh,
different sound.
just like a guitar. Yeah, it's just a guitar with frets and everything,
Mm-mm.
but it's only one string.
It's a get fiddle.
Dr. Greg, how did you find the time to learn how to play all these instruments? Because
It
you
comes
that's
natural
not
to
it
him.
though. You're an author,
Talented.
an entrepreneur. What's going on with the coffee?
Well, the author part started because I was going to talk to the kids because in Memphis, it's not a lot of inner city veterinarians. So I had this summer program where I would go and bring the kids in to the clinic, and I would teach them about veterinary medicine, and we would have these little summer programs. I would use stuff down, teach them how to sew and stuff. But I would go to the kids and talk, and they'll ask me all these questions. So what I started doing is I started writing kid-friendly books to hand to them when I went. So that's where the books came from. They were questions, like the pet Bible was just full of questions kids asked me, and I used the Bible to answer the questions.
Oh.
Then the second book was about this little dog lost on Mars, and the aliens ended up being ticks. And then I started the comic book series about the veterinary superhero. So I write these books.
Wait, you got a comic series?
Yeah, I got this
Oh my
veterinary comic
God.
series.
I gotta get this for my son.
Right.
I will
You
send
would
it.
love this.
I will send it to y'all. He's fighting. The latest one, he was fighting Mr. Tick in the land of Furtropolis. But I use
In
it.
Atlanta?
The land of Furtropolis. It could be Atlanta, but he's fighting Mr. Tick, and it's all designed for the kids to learn more and be familiar with animals. So I designed a veterinary superhero thing. So that's it. It all was designed for the kids.
Okay,
amazing.
This is too much. You're too awesome. Okay, wait a minute.
Amazing.
We need to get to we got more. We still got more. We got more,
Okay,
y'all. This ain't even it. Like you could go on and ask Dr. Courtney.
No. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Okay. So you spoke about this earlier, being able to interpret with a patient that can't speak. So what skills for anyone out there that's thinking of being a veterinarian or going into veterinary medicine, what kind of skills do you have to be able to, be in tune with an animal that can't tell you what's wrong?
Yeah, definitely lead with patience and kindness, because you really have to be kind, because first off, this animal doesn't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what your intentions are. And you can't tell it what you're about to do.
Yeah.
Because by the time they see you, they're not at their best.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to lead with kindness to kind of show care and gratitude, so those guards go down and we know, hey, I'm here to help. And all that comes from you having just a positive energy and you coming in peaceful. For example,
all that.
No sudden movements, no this and that, especially when you're dealing with some animals are like prey animals, like animals used to get eaten, like mice, rats, parakeets, something like that. They're used to getting prey, so you can't just run in there. The same way you would with the puppy. Like you said, you came into the house with the old man, right? So everyone's different. It's just you being in tune with the patient that you're seeing. And one thing is just being kind, hey, let you know you're okay, and just kind of pressing your instinct, be kind, because the animals will feel your energy, but it's that barrier of gratitude, because you can't do anything, you can't touch them. And so that's kind of that avenue to be cordial, look in the eye. And some patients you can look in the eye, some you can't. Some you gotta just kind of softly talk, and just kind of lead into that so that guard comes down and you know that we're okay. Because when you see them, it's a lot of they're hurting and they're in pain and they want to lash out. And you got to be patient because most of my bites I've been bit are patients I took care of and just being bit and just trying to make because they didn't understand. So you get hit by a car or something happens, they're lashing out to bite and you're trying to not get bit, trying to take care of them. So it's definitely a lot of patience and a lot of kindness and just understanding that crossing that barrier of being so that guard can say, hey, you know, you're right. Like we can't say they can't tell you, oh, I'm working this way, but they can tell how your energy feels and how you're taking that time to address what they have going on. So it just takes a lot of patience and kindness. And that's even before you even use anything you use in medicine.
Right.
Because it's just, and you got to talk to the patient, the parents just as much as the owner, because if they're not calmed down, the pet won't be calmed down.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to have patience not only for the animal, but also the family that it'll be okay because they're going to be sometimes more stressed than the animal. So you kind of got a twofold that you're part of this family dynamic that you walk into before you ever even prescribe any medicine or touch. You got a dynamic in there that you want to get the energy of the room positive. So that's one of those things there. Patience. Once you get past the knowledge and studying and everything, it's the patience aspect and just really bring A game and treating each patient like it's the most important patient of the day. Because to that family, that patient, that puppy, fish, mouse, or whatever is the most important in the world. So that would be my that'll be my advice.
Yeah, okay.
So, like you said, you have two patients, the owner and the fur friend.
She's so you can tell she ain't had no pets.
Right, the fur baby, not the fur friend.
The fur friend.
The fur baby, okay?
I'm gonna send Dr. Sylvia a hedgehog or something.
A bird or something.
Oh, a hedgehog. That would be cute.
That was so cute. They little ball up.
We're gonna be playing that in the arms of an angel.
Oh, and we don't advocate.
No, it would just
anyway. Wither away. It would just wither away.
Go ahead.
Yes.
I would come get it.
But I tried to be a dog owner once. It did
not
go
you?
Well. Yeah.
Oh, you had a dog and it got loose.
What? No.
You were babysitting.
Oh my gosh.
You were dog walking.
No, because
I tell a story about dog walking and the dog went away and she was looking for the dog ferociously.
Oh yeah, that was my ex-boyfriend.
That was the epic fail. That was her test.
Yes, on Valentine's Day. Yes.
So that was your wait a minute. So that was your step puppy.
Yeah,
almost step puppy.
He got stolen. Somebody stole that dog.
Not in your care.
Not a good babysitter.
Not in your care.
No, not in my care. Not in my care.
Was not a good babysitter.
I bought a dog and I went to go get them, and I had a nervous breakdown, and I like called my partner at work, the other pharmacist, because he was a dog person, and I was like, I can't do it.
Now, why we don't know this story?
It's a true story.
Always something we don't know.
But that dog, I don't consider that my dog. He was loved. He's by Dawn.
Sylvia, when did you buy a dog?
Whose dog was it?
And what kind of dog was it? Yeah.
It was a Chihuahua Dachshund mix. I'm probably saying that wrong. Wiener and Chihuahua. And they were just bad. Like, we were in a hotel room because we were at a conference, and they would like bark, and I'd be like, "Get over there, get over there." You had to like walk up on them before they would turn and run back around.
How many did you have?
It was two. Her dog and my dog.
Before having
it was in the same litter.
Sylvia, when was this?
This was 2012, 20. Yeah, I think so.
I'm so
because my boyfriend had a dog, and I was like, "Oh, you got a dog? I'm gonna get a dog." And so,
blended fur family. Okay.
And yeah,
but
that was a bad decision.
But she couldn't take it.
Yeah. So my dog had just gotten neutered, and so had that thing, and so they were quiet. They were in the corner and quiet. So I got up, they had somehow talked to each other, and my dog was stretched out, and the other dog was scratching the stitches. And I was like, "Oh my god, y'all are so bad!" And anyway, long story short,
You said the dogs had talked to each other.
they didn't.
come up with a
They weren't
plan.
barking, but they had communicated. Like, get right.
Hey, player, go ahead and get this spot for me. Go ahead.
I got you.
I get you next time, player. I get you.
I took them for a walk, and it was we were at our sorority convention, so people were coming in and out the elevators, and they were afraid to hop off the elevator. So it was just a lot for me.
The dog was this small, and you couldn't get them
small.
off the elevator.
This small. Anyway, long story short, I left the dog in the great care of Dr. Dawn Edwards, and she loved both of those.
Thank
dogs.
you, Dr. Dawn, for taking care of the dog.
But she is their mom. The dog that I was supposed to take actually passed away 2 weeks ago now.
Aww.
So my question is, what is a good gift for someone when they lose their fur baby?
She said all that.
I feel like there's a lot of stuff out there. Some of it's tasteful, some of it's not. And I don't want to get something that is not a positive
for your baby,
a cherish for her baby. I'm not
for
gonna
your old baby.
No, I watched that dog for a few days. She watched him for over 10 years. That was her baby.
Start out as yours.
Oh wow! So, with your for someone as a memory, as a keepsake.
I can tell you what somebody did. I
want to know what Dr.
I want to hear what Dr. Gray's suggestion is.
Well, I've seen a few things. If they've passed on a few years ago, sometimes when I know we had talked and mentioned earlier about if they pass away and you're there, let's say you have to sleep. Sometime I would like to have an ink pad and save the paw print in a card, so they'll have that. But if it's past that, then sometimes having things to remember by memorabilia, or just sometimes having they sell so many little paw necklaces with your name on it, or things like that. So it's a few things out there that I've seen. But I'm interested in what Dr. Courtney said. She probably knows something I don't know. No,
I think it would have creeped me out. But when it was a dog, and the dog's name was Chewbacca. It was a mutt, so it was very hairy. Reminded you of Chewbacca from Star Wars, right? Mm-hmm. So the dog's nickname was Chewie. So Chewie lived a very long time, and when Chewie passed away, the neighbor of my friend actually had a painting of the actual Chewbacca from Star Wars, and they replaced the head with the dog's head on the picture, so that it would.
That's adorable.
Hated it.
I went into the house and was like,
hated it. No.
A big oil paint of Chewbacca on the wall.
I asked Dr. Greg
dog on top of Chewbacca's body from Star Wars as a tribute to Chewie.
Did the people like it?
My girlfriend was like a little weirded out, but her husband was closer to the dog, and I think he cried. He loved it.
Oh.
See, you can go either way. That's why I needed.
I would not. I think it would just be the personality of the owner, how extreme you would go. But they're like big Star Wars and Marvel and DC comic fanatics. Like they're into all that good stuff. So yes, no.
Yeah, that's a real good idea. Yeah, that's a different. Or just have a portrait made of them, or a picture made of them.
He's so nice. So nice.
But you don't have to do that, Dr. Sylvia. I'm just saying. Okay.
I won't.
On to the next. Yes.
And then also being a vet, what role do you play when a pet reaches its final days? How do you usher them to the other side?
Well, a lot of times you let them explaining to them, because you're with the patient all the time. So a lot of times they're gonna put you in a thing like, when you think it's time, it's really knowing it's time. And then when it comes to that time where you feel like we think we're suffering, then you being there with us and kind of just being at a comfort at this time, knowing that we are we don't want to live like this in this situation, and that you're doing the best thing for the time. Because you don't want them to suffer, and sometimes just step away from their part, I guess, with people too. You don't want to be selfish, and when they get to that time where they're suffering and they're not, the quality of life is not where it needs to be. You just kind of, being there and assuring them that things are fine and that you're there for them in this way as well. So they want, so they won't be in a situation where we're suffering, and that usually equates to when we stop eating, stop drinking, and the whole gambit of things, because and the owner, the mom, they can really tell and say, hey, this is not how Fido lives. This is not how Fido want to be this way. And then that usually helps usher in the next steps of sleep. And then usually what it goes in, I mean, just like the whole situation, the possibilities, there's pet cemeteries, there's urns, there's everything as far as, you can do, and just letting us know that we're not forgotten, but you're there for them all the way to the end, which is not really the end, but you're there for them to just make sure that they're comforted during that time. So it's more of a mental, and you kind of guide them on what's going on, and you step in that role to kind of usher the next steps of.
I think I'm gonna need a second opinion because I keep having my dog eyes and ears checked, but I swear he's getting senile. I'll
I
say,
thought you
hey,
meant like you
Jazz,
need a
from
second
one
opinion from
side,
Dr.
and
Greg.
Jazz
Like
be looking a
that.
whole nother way. Like, where's that coming from?
Now Kim had dogs growing up. Her brothers had dogs growing up, and Randy and I think it was Randy and Butch. And Randy and Butch were deaf and blind, and you would call their name, and they would go the other way.
And also his senses, like if you drop a crumb on the floor, he would usually go right to it, and it takes him a little longer to find it. So I think he can see very well, but it's more of his senses and his hearing that seem like they're starting to decline because he doesn't pick up on it as fast. So I can tell he's aging.
Yeah.
But,
and he don't like to go outside either.
I mean, he's always been a house dog, so he'll go outside for a little while, but it's like,
she be making him go outside.
I'm coming back in. Like I'll make him stay out for a little while.
He'd be like,
but are there any vitamins? And this is kind of off script, but maybe some. Should I start to give him vitamins now, or?
Yeah, with that age, the things you think of being in that, like sometimes you can roughly multiply by 7, and you kind of put us into people years. A lot of things you want to think about is especially there's multivitamins for us to kind of help us with aging and what we're not getting in our nutrition as we should be eating, but also putting us in thinking about possible arthritis, because as we get older, as they get older, mammals, the cartilage is not there how it used to be. So a lot of times the cartilage being there, so definitely joint supplements are there to help out. Not sure if you know those. So that under that vitamin realm, joint supplements, because as you get older, those joints don't rub together. They can kind of be bone on bone a little bit, just to kind of keep us spry and just kind of keep ready to go. So yeah, there are different multivitamins, and they come in different areas. Sometimes they're in pill, sometimes they come in a little gel like syrup you can use.
I might have to get some recommendations from you, because I can tell, like when he jumps off if he's sitting on the couch with me, or he jumps off the couch or out of the car, he doesn't land as strong on his feet. He kind of lands on his whole little body.
Yeah. And that's definitely something to think about. Yeah, because our body's going to come.
He done had one accident already. You supposed to carry that baby.
I do, but he still thinks he's got it. And I'm like, sir, you can't do that anymore.
Now, do you have ramps, special ramps and stuff for him to get up here from the bed?
That's a great question. Get one of those.
No, because we don't. It's not a practice of him to get on the furniture anyway.
Okay.
As he's getting older and I carry him more, I may have him like on the couch with me, but he'll see something and he'll want to jump off, and I'm like, hey, you can't make sudden movements like that anymore. Because
you know what, and that's a good point you bring up, because like you said, they don't understand that they can't do the stuff.
I still think he's 30. He's 107 years old.
Right. You can tell on Mimi, don't go down there and go dancing because you may hurt your hip. But they don't understand. They don't know that. Yeah, they don't understand. So you got to step in and be like, hey, I know we've got to put something in there. Because what happens is, when they do something, they'll feel pain. They stop doing it just because it hurt when I did it.
Right. Yeah.
They want to equate to, right, I could have arthritis over here. I could have no, it's going to be to, I tried this, it hurt. I'm not going to do this anymore. So definitely at that age, vitamins and some joint supplements will definitely help, especially at that age. Because at that age, we definitely lose it. So we'll talk afterwards, and I'll get you some recommendations, okay?
Thank you.
Tanisha made a comment earlier. She said, "LOL, my husband
Am
named
I
my
my
dog
brother's keeper?
after Nino Brown."
I
I can
need a
only
painting. I need a
imagine.
painting of the dog with Nino Brown, with everybody with G Money
Yeah,
and everybody around him.
No,
Yeah,
no. All I imagine is the Martin episode when Martin would head the
That's my
dog
favorite
and
episode.
he was pulling him through the room.
That was my favorite one. Favorite
He
one.
pulling.
It was
They
a fake
they
dog,
all
right?
broke character in that
Yeah.
scene.
But he was pulling the dog, and the dog was just
I
dragging
do
on the
remember
floor.
that.
He didn't even try.
It was so fake.
It was so great. That was great
Ooh-wee.
comedy.
That was hilarious. Yes.
All right, what else we
Can
got for Dr.
dogs
Greg?
eat bones? I hear mixed things. Does it tear up their intestines if they eat bones?
okay, so when their ancestors was chasing after the gazelle, the bone has marrow and stuff in it. Okay,
So
when
it's
that bone is cooked, that marrow is cooked out of it, and those bones are brittle. So when a dog eats those bones, it breaks into pieces like glass.
And it can cut them.
Now, yeah, it can pass, but along the way, it can cause kind of the problem get stuck, or it could just scratch everything up inside lining. That, and sometimes even those rawhide treats, that if you, because some dogs don't chew them, they'll swallow the whole thing whole and they won't digest.
Oh.
And they can sometimes get stuck and won't make itself through. So, yes, those
My
those
husband was trying to say, don't give him the chicken bones. He can have the turkey leg bones. And I'm like, no, he cannot. Neither.
No.
your dog
mean,
is big. What he
Your
gonna do?
your dog is a different size now. T'Challa, I gave him a turkey leg bone, and that man broke
bear.
into
Get
into it with no problem at all. So no, I don't give him any cooked bones.
Okay.
Where are y'all buying turkey leg bones that are not cooked?
We were eating turkey legs.
Well, no,
and I gave him the
they were actually
bone.
cooked. The turkey legs, and it's a big, thick bone. That's
Yeah.
You
left,
just said don't give them cooked bones.
No, that's what I'm saying. You can't
We
give him
don't do
cooked
it
bones.
no
I'm
more.
saying the size of her dog, you would think, oh, it can't hurt him. But
I also heard
I
pig
thought the
ears
same
are
thing with
bad.
T'Challa.
I heard pig ears are bad.
Why are we feeding them pig ears?
But that's on that rawhide situation. They'll chew on them, but it'll break off into pieces, and it won't always get digested. Yeah, so it can. Sometimes it's always the possibility that it could get stuck somewhere and get kind of lodged up somewhere. And like birds, for example, birds have pneumatic bones. That's like the fly. Their bones are hollow. So that really makes bird bones hard to digest because they're already hollow. Then they break off into pieces. So yeah, so those things. And some dogs, yeah, everybody say, I've fed my dogs there for years, but not every dog chews their food all the way. Not every dog chews this thing all the way. So it's always the possibility that something can get blocked up in there and something can scratch it either on the way out.
And my dog's teeth stay bad. He about to have no teeth in his mouth because they just keep pulling the little teeth.
Yeah, and that's actually good. It's better to pull them than they'll sit in there and they get a dental infection.
Right.
It's like with us, because that gum line is a direct highway to the rest of the body.
He won't let me brush him, so you don't have a little tooth pull every time he go. He gonna be numbing his food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go wet it up a little bit, make it smooth like applesauce or something, and just numb it down.
He'll be content.
So, do you have any crazy stories, like with the snake?
Well, the first snake I saw, the first snake I saw was constipated, and I didn't think about it. I didn't know this.
Oh.
That sometimes snakes get constipated, and I was first starting out, and the snake wasn't doing well. But it had a big lump and wasn't doing well. And I called a vet friend of mine, and we had constipated, and then I decided, and it was like, oh no. So I gave my first snake I saw, I gave it an enema. So it's a little slit right underneath, and you just slide the enema right up in there with a little syringe, and then everything started moving on out, and the snake felt better. So the first snake I did was a stopped up snake that needed an enema. But once it started pooping out, you had yourself a party going on. So it was all just smooth going from there. But that's how I learned snakes can get an enema.
Yeah. Well, that's one way. I mean, I probably would have quit after that. Like, I'm done. Done. Is that crazy enough for you, Dr. Sylvia?
I'll take it.
So are cats really evil?
No, who said they were evil?
I'm just saying, they real temperamental. Have you ever? I mean, okay, never mind.
No, they can't. They are temperamental, and they do act like they don't need you at all. like it's a privilege for you to even be in their presence.
You
Not
see that
all cats act like that, but a lot of them do have that.
Okay.
But they're kind of self-sufficient. You can leave them at home and they'll eat what they want to and then come back
evil.
around.
Tanisha said they evil.
Yeah. but they definitely try to be the boss. You know, they're more prone to I'm gonna live my life my way versus a dog is gonna try to seek approval.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a dog, a cat could care less, and you're trying to seek approval from the cat. Or, you know, or you got a reptile like a snake that don't care either way if you're there. So
she had to go.
Well, I'm sure your iguana knew you were there. I'm sure the iguana got happy. I'm sure Alizé, the iguana, was happy with you.
Yeah, till she was out there in the cold that one day, and she was like, "F all of y'all."
Okay, so you we talked about your many talents, not only being a wonderful doctor, a musician. You also are an entrepreneur. We said you're an author, and you're an entrepreneur. You have a brand of coffee.
Okay, so this all started. I would travel because I'm known for taking solo trips somewhere, and usually I'll take an instrument somewhere and just show up in a random country and just play. Like in Thailand, I just grab my saxophone and go into the jazz clubs. Just go to Hawaii with a bamboo stick, craziness. But I would just travel alone. But when I would come back, people would ask for souvenirs, and I would bring them.
Though, huh?
I ain't took Kanjo nowhere. I don't even know where I would take that. Put it on my back. Like BB King, and I started just making these connections with friends and stuff that had coffee farms and stuff, and so I started just being like, you know what, I'm bringing all this in, and why not start a coffee line? Called it Bark Early, and I would become cool with these coffee farmers in these other countries, and then it just kind of took off, roll from there. But it really started having friends, bringing them coffee when I came back. But then it was like people was out in these little small villages wanting people to know about their coffee and stuff. And these small mom and pop farms like on Kona Island in Hawaii and stuff like this and that. I said, well, I'll help you. And I was like, all right, cool. You didn't know what I need to do. I got you. And so I'll make a call. I logoed it up. And when they need somebody to help coffee, I drink it anyway all the time. So I might well just tell people about it and kind of come up with it there. So it kind of came off of randomness. And
look,
international brand ambassador.
You are Mr. Everything.
You have seen all kind of opportunities just by networking with people. You know, it's just it's become just you go out and meet somebody and wind up having a whole business venture out of it, you know?
Yeah, it comes good. They text today why it's like, hey, I got some roasting. You need some more? So I'll say yeah, and then Rick send it on, and we just kind of it's just keeps it balanced, you know. It's kind of keep it balanced.
I can't say that word.
Ingenuity.
And we Booker T's kids. We have to, he told us we have to keep it, keep it going. But yeah, so that's kind of it for now. Just kind of keep it.
Who knows? In the next couple of years, you'll start another business. I can't wait.
Maybe sweaters for iguanas. Maybe.
You know what? You ain't got to worry about that. We ain't getting no more iguanas around here. Now, I do want to say my son does want a bird. I said, so the day that, the day Jazz passes on, I said, I can't handle two animals at once. But if we
the same day you're going to go get the bird.
After Jazz has gone on to, all dogs go to heaven.
Cross the rainbow bridge.
I will consider another pet, and he wants a bird. So
like a parakeet?
Like a Tweety bird. Tweety bird.
Aren't they hard? They don't live long, right, Dr. Shaw?
No, they do pretty good. They do pretty good, and they're easy to take care of. I just thought you could get one of those big African grays that talk and stuff. They'll live a long time, and they can be a little. But those little small parakeets and those little birds, pigeons, whatever, they'll do fine. They easy to take care of, and
a little cage you can have right there in the corner. It's great.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I don't need none that talk back. Nope. You're gonna be out. You're gonna be chicken. No. It was a joke. It was a joke.
You gonna keep him?
It was a joke.
You gonna keep him in his room, or you gonna keep him? You gonna keep him in his room or out in the front?
I ain't got that far yet. I ain't got that far yet now.
Okay, you have a suggestion? Is there?
Well, yeah, because you don't want to put him in the kitchen because sometimes we cook with Teflon pans. The chemicals in the air can be poison to them.
My cousin
So
said that.
That's too close to the
What?
cooking.
What you
I'll
say?
probably
Gotta
put
be
him in
careful about
one of
cooking
the
with
family room.
non-stick.
Really?
yeah,
The family room. He'll have
Oh.
his own little corner in the family
Yeah.
room that he can go
There
to.
you go.
Teflon can kill the birds. You not
Yeah, those non-sticks and all that. The chemicals in the air can make them can really go on time. So make sure you.
I would have probably done that and cooked that same day and be like, I just bought this bird. What in the world?
That's interesting. Now I didn't know that.
Doggone bird is gone.
Teflon's not good for you.
Traumatized my
It's not
son.
good for humans either.
Okay.
So what's next for you, Dr. Greg?
Well, I did a TV show filming on Monday for this little Sesame Street show, and it was pretty cool. This zoo came up.
So now
Okay, so
it's
a show. So Mabel McClay has this kind of Mr. Rogers show where she has guests come on, kind of like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I was actually be the vet on there, so we filmed that Monday. And the people from the zoo, from this local zoo in the area, brought from Fern Valley Farms, brought a big cockatiel, brought a crocodile,
That's the clip
brought
I saw.
a goats and some stuff there, and we had this whole segment that we did about animals and being kind. It's a kid show, so we filmed that. So I'm gonna go out next week and try to see if we can kind of make it a regular thing and film out there with the wild animals and see what happens. So that's coming up.
Which exotic animal is trending right now? At one time, it was everybody wanted a ferret, and then they have the other one where everybody has the little ones that fly, and they're all like when they
the sugar glider,
legs and arms, they're all connected.
Did you say a bat?
No, sugar glider.
Wombat.
Wombat. Okay.
Little wombat. And now you see the little hedgehogs. So what's the trending exotic pet these days?
I don't know what the trend with it. Well, I've seen frogs a lot on TikTok. These people having these cute little frogs.
Red eye frogs.
Those little Pac-Man frogs, those cute little frogs have been trending. And I saw a dude with a squirrel as a pet. I've been seeing that a lot on social media.
Rabies, no.
Having squirrels kind of hanging around with them.
Turtles. I've seen a lot of turtles too.
Yeah.
I don't know if people
snapping turtle.
Turtles on
a snapping turtle.
Those big old turtles on turtle.
It's time to go. See, it's getting late. We're getting real silly.
We've been silly.
Okay, so he's gonna be a TV star, author, entrepreneur.
I just said what you gonna do next. See, TV.
Well, that's coming up. We'll see. But when it films, I'll let you know. We shot it, but we'll see where it comes, and we'll see on this show. And the bird, all the animals behave well, so you never know what. So everyone was on their best behavior. So I'll go out to the ladies' zoo and I'll see you some pictures. She got giraffes out there. Hope has giraffes, kangaroos, all kind of stuff. So I'll go out there next week.
Kangaroos are not kangaroos. I think you know how you have cartoons and stuff. Kangaroos, they made them look all friendly in the cartoons.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
are scary in real life.
Yeah, I'm seeing them boxing people.
Wait a minute.
Have you had
kangaroo you saw? You're using that as your example.
Have you had an encounter with a kangaroo?
No, just on social media. Did you see that man had to punch him to get him away from his son? And the kangaroo was like,
he got squared up like for real.
And they're pet.
They've kind of built.
Yeah,
how the giraffe.
That's not how the cartoon shows kangaroos.
And they be fighting each other with their whole neck. The giraffes. Have you seen them fight?
Oh yeah.
They'll take their whole neck and whoop on somebody.
That's not Jeffrey.
I saw the kangaroos. They've been doing a meme where they said when you and your sibling get to fight and you hit them too hard. And he pushed the kangaroo like he fell all against the fence and knocked him. And he kind of looked like, uh-oh.
You all right?
I just tell Mama. It's funny.
Oh my gosh.
Do people ever this is the last question because we've kept you too long. But like you know how they'll have those days where you can surrender your exotic animals that you aren't supposed to have. Like, do people ever call you to like come work on a tiger that they have hidden? And like, are you a mandated reporter? Like, do you have to snitch on them?
Oh wow.
I've never gotten a call like that.
A loaded question.
The only call I got back in Memphis, this guy brought an alligator in a kiddie pool up there.
Oh no.
He brought it in. He had a blue kiddie pool and had maybe like a 3 foot long alligator in there.
Where'd he get it from?
His backyard. He had in his backyard in Memphis and brought the alligator up there and it was
Alligator man.
We
Shout
got
out to him.
and drug it up there and
With it.
but he took it back home to his backyard. He had an old alligator in his backyard just living in the city. Huh?
You treated the alligator?
Yeah, it wasn't nothing horrible with it. I think it was basic. A lot of times with animals that don't need us, for example, like any animal that you can usually let loose and it'll live on its own in the wild, this is something we've done, whether through husbandry or the way we've taken care of it. So that was a lot of times this year calls. Like, for example, like one of my mentees called because her lizard couldn't eat, and because the humidity wasn't right, when the skin was shed, the skin stayed on the eyes and the nose. It didn't shed the skin like it's supposed to. So if it can't smell it or see it, it's not going to eat it.
Oh.
So the animal was starving to death. So something simple, usually animals like that, it's something we've done. So I think the alligator had a quick little issue of skin lesions or something going on basic. It wasn't nothing where it wasn't anything too serious. If it gets too serious, I send them to the exotic animal specialist. So I'll take on the basic. If it gets too hairy, so to speak, I'm like, I'm going to go see who can spend all day and time, trying not to.
I need to get back to cats and dogs. Yes.
Yeah. Keep it real basic.
Well, Dr. Greg, how can our friends keep in touch with you and follow along your journey?
Instagram's cool. At Dr. Greg Shaw is cool, and I'm on, and that's pretty much everything across the board except for TikTok is the Dr. Greg Shaw, because apparently I tried to make Dr. Greg Shaw at first, and then I don't know what happened, and then I couldn't get back in it, so I had to make a new one. So, so there we are. We kind of just hanging out there. Dr. Greg Shaw is easy to find. Instagram is usually it, and we'll see what this adventure has. I'm just so appreciative and thankful that y'all took time out to have little old me on here.
Yeah.
So thank y'all so much. I get to hang with the coolest women on Women's International Day. It's top of the world, Craig. Top of the world, Craig.
Thank you. We have really enjoyed you. This was very enlightening, and as you can see, we really got into it.
It has been.
We'll have to have you back on the show because
I'll definitely be with bells on and running, and we gotta talk about some vitamins too. So we'll keep in touch, and we'll
keep my dog alive. Yes,
keep the dog alive, and we'll keep in touch. And Dr. Leah, we got to take Mitch out for his birthday when I'm back in Memphis. So
please hit both of us up. Yes,
I haven't seen Mitch since our high school reunion.
Oh wow, yes, and
he was out there barbecuing,
and you gotta be T'Challa's godfather.
Yeah, exactly. See, we had the whole ceremony and everything.
Okay, let's wrap this up. It's been a pleasure, friends. Catch us back in a few weeks, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Oh yeah, and we have our beautiful t-shirts, International Women's Day. Go to 3ftlinks.com and purchase your merch. Bye, friends.
Bye, friends.